Everybody, welcome to the Weekend Check-In. As you know, on the weekends, Daily Distinction is a little shorter. We just kind of check in, see what's going on. Got one thought to consider. It's our casual weekend, and as you can tell, I'm pretty casual because we're working on building the office here or getting the studio set up for the Ultimate Business Summit. We had a little bit of a run through yesterday. Good grief, I'm excited about this. There's so many good things as we were sharing ideas and working and everything. We were just really excited about what's going on. Got a lot of great information going to bring you. And by the way, as a reminder, there will not be Daily Distinction on this coming Thursday and Friday because I'll be taking part in the Ultimate Business Summit. But I hope you will be too. The Ultimate Business Summit is coming. So hope you're a part of that. I know a lot of those of you that watch have already joined in. And that is really, really extraordinary. The Ultimate Business Summit coming up Thursday and Friday. There's still time to register, and because you watch Daily Distinction, there is still time for you to get $100 off the registration. How cool is that? $100 off the registration. It is typically, if you go there just to sign up, it's $197 or $497 is their regular price, but you enter the coupon code Scott, you get $100 off. That means it's under $100 to attend the Ultimate Business Summit. VIPs get a whole bunch of stuff. You can read about it on the website. You get the video of all the sessions. You're going to get a transcript. It's follow-up Zoom calls, which is really cool. Kind of accountability calls are going to be coming up afterwards. So you get that too. It's all a part of the VIP program. If you'd like to be a part of that, we'd love to have you. A special get-together the night before on Wednesday and a special luncheon with former Disney executive Simon T. Bailey, who's a member of the Professional Speakers Hall of Fame. It is going to be awesome. So we hope to see you there at the Ultimate Business Summit. Well, we're all doing UBS. Absolutely. I love it. We're all going to be there. That's so cool. I'm glad. Scott, hey, well, you ought to see what you don't see right now. It's kind of dressed up a little bit just to get us there. So that's okay too. So enough about UBS. And one other reminder too, if you're a meeting professional, if you do any kind of speaking, if you're a financial advisor who has had to move your client events from, meeting in a restaurant to now online as you talk about retirement strategies, or even the quarterly meetings that you do with your clients. Maybe you've got to do those online now. If you're a sales professional who has gone from making in-person sales calls to now doing it online, for anyone that has to move from face-to-face to virtual, that's what our program Post-Pandemic Events is all about. It is now open for registration. Post-Pandemic Events is available, and you get $50 off if you watch this program, which obviously you are, or else you wouldn't be seeing this. But enter Distinct50 is the code. You can take $50 off when you join Post-Pandemic Events, and registration for that closes on Friday. We're shutting the doors and moving forward with it. So time is of the essence. You need to register now to get the discount, and you need to register now because the doors are closed for registration on Friday with Post-Pandemic Events. Weekend edition. Oh, you're on vacay for a couple of days. Good for you, Brian. Tammy and I I think we're just going to get out and take a little drive here just a little bit. Just kind of get out. I've been in this studio office here for a while. You're doing some great things. And by the way, that brings up, I got the strangest topic to talk to you about for a couple of days, but you've heard me talk here before if you watched before, and so many of you do, thankfully. You've heard me talk about how JJ Virgin is helping me get fit and get everything. And one of the things that she has emphasized that I thought was kind of okay. So you want to get in shape. You want to lose weight. You want to feel better. Who doesn't, right? We all do. And so naturally I'm thinking, okay, the diet and exercise. That's what everybody, and she says, oh, no. It's a three-legged stool. It's diet, exercise, and this is the one that got me. It's today's topic. Sleep. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because for all of my life, I have gone on little sleep during the week and think I'm going to make it up on the weekend, right? Hey, the weekend comes, I can snooze in. That's great. I didn't realize until she got me researching this, how important this is. And you may think, well, wait a minute, this is to help motivate me. This is to help make me achieve more. Yeah. And I did not realize how important this topic is to personal success and professional success and achievement. I've read so much about, how Tim Cook hits the treadmill every day at what, 4:30. Part I gotta admit to you, and it really worked out for the best, right? When I was in Indiana and I was working in radio years and years ago. Well, you'll know how long ago it was when I tell you this. I got an offer to do morning radio in Sacramento, California. And the shift was 6 to 10 a.m., which meant I'd have to be at work no later than 4:45 and go on the air at 6, get off the air at 10. And people think if you're on the air for 4 hours, that's all you work. No, you got to do show prep before, you got to cut commercials and everything after. So, it's a full work day. Well, anyway, so I get this offer to do morning radio in Sacramento. And I really was excited about it because it was kind of, it wasn't disc jockeying as much as it was kind of talk radio and talking and doing and it's something I've always thought would be very cool to do. I've always wanted to do talk radio. I think that would be a fun thing to do. I'm blessed that I'm fortunate. You're probably the same way. I'm blessed that I'm fortunate now, but it's like how some people think about, wouldn't it be great to be a professional golfer, or wouldn't it be great to be a movie star? I've always thought, wouldn't it be cool to be have a talk radio program? So anyway, so I get this offer and I couldn't pull the trigger. I just couldn't say yes to it. And part of it was, to pick up from Indiana and move to Sacramento, where I didn't know anybody and didn't have any family, didn't have any friends. And I was 26 at the time, 27. But the other part of it was, I have always been somebody that stayed up late and slept late. And I just couldn't imagine that every day my alarm clock was going to go off at 3:30. Couldn't pull the trigger. So that, what that station did? They moved their afternoon guy to mornings. I wonder whatever happened to him. His name was Rush. What was it? Limburger? Rush? Is that crazy? What a crazy world. So, but my sleep really did work out pretty good for me there. But I made a better decision. Scott, WMPI was the station I worked at in Scottsburg. When I got the offer was back when I was working at WCSI in Columbus. But Wimpy, Scott remembers. I worked for my very first job in radio. It started on my 14th birthday at WMPI Radio in Scottsburg, Indiana. Literally, Wimpy Radio. That's where I got started. Absolutely. Hey, Charles from the mildly blistering Silicon Valley this week. Glad you're here. The party is here because Charles has arrived. Yeah, it's pretty much going to be the Daily Distinction Summit. And hey, we got to hold on to October. That's when the Distinction Summit's coming. But yes, it is the daily distinction time. Yeah, gone are those days. You can rest when you die. I know. For those that don't know, Charles has been dealing with some challenges with vocal issues. And but he had, that's what my buddies have always said about me, Charles. I was destined for success. I had a face made for radio, right? So, yeah, real Linda. How many times has he talked about that over the years? He doesn't talk about that as much. I haven't listened. I know Rush is dealing with some very significant health issues, but I haven't listened to him for a while. I need to kind of listen in. Whether you agree with him politically or not, he's an amazing broadcaster. He makes it really hard to turn the radio off. He's an amazing broadcaster. Even, and one of the interesting studies that they found was that the people who hate him listen longer than the people who love him. Isn't that interesting? He is so good because it doesn't matter whether they love you or hate you as long as they feel passionately about you, which is one of the keys. Sleep is so important. I found this on the National Institute of Health. They said that ongoing sleep deficiency is linked to, look at all these things that sleep deficiency is linked to. Heart disease, kidney disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, stroke, all of that. Because they ain't sleeping enough. It can contribute to it. I was always a nap guy too, right? If I had to get up early, like for a speech, and a lot of times I'd be in a hotel room, right? So different noises, different bed, different everything, hard to go to sleep. So you end up getting to sleep about 3 and the alarm goes off at 6 to get down there and do your morning speech. So the speech be over, everything be over. I'd have a late afternoon flight. So I'd nap for half an hour. This is also from the National Institute of Health, that naps provide a short-term boost in alertness and performance, but it doesn't provide the benefits of nighttime, late night, deep sleep. Therefore, it said, and this line really struck me, you can't really make up for lost sleep. In fact, doing what I have done for so long, thinking, man, when the weekend gets here, I'm going to catch up. Sleeping more on your days off might be a sign that you just aren't getting enough sleep. Although the extra days off, the extra sleep on those days off might help you feel better, it upsets your rhythm. So I hope this doesn't put you to sleep to talk about that. Yeah, well, then, yeah, exactly. It's sometimes you just aren't able to do it, can't do it. So here's some of the things that my new friend JJ has taught me, and part of what's really shocked me about it. So I just want to share it with you because I think it's part of, she says, getting more sleep means you're going to lose more weight. And I'm like, what? Wouldn't you think it'd mean you'd gain weight because you wouldn't be as active? It's the other way around. So here's what she had me start doing: keeping a sleep log. I have to document when I go to sleep and when I get up every day. And it really shocked me because we've all heard, you're supposed to get 8 hours sleep a night, and that may or may not be accurate depending on what you read. But I was getting 4 and 5 hours of sleep a night, and then wondering why I wasn't feeling good. Gee, maybe I need to do this or that, when it started with getting better sleep. So just keep a log. Write down every time that, when you go to bed at night, when do you get up? Bonnie, can't nap. But there you go, Bonnie. And it sounds like you've got great sleep habits. Yeah, naps are, for me, I'm kind of the same way. There have been times I've been so tired, and as soon as I lay down, do you do this? I'll be exhausted. I'll even think, I got to take a nap. I'm so tired. I got to take a nap. And no sooner do I put my head down, and all of a sudden I start thinking about all the things I should be up and should be doing, and I can't shut it off. So I get back up, right? And then not only am I still tired, now I'm more frustrated because I got all these things going on in my head. So yeah, exactly. I tell myself I want to take a nap, but there you go, Brian. And so if we're tired enough to want a nap, then that also maybe is suggesting to us that we should have slept a little bit more. So keep a sleep log. That's where you begin, because it'll really help you. Again, we've talked about this with other situations. You can't fix a problem that you haven't identified. So doing the sleep log is the first step to identifying where you are. Now, here's some things you probably know, but how well are you doing them? And that was the other thing that the sleep log and the log did, was it kind of, that I knew in my head, like here's the first one: avoid heavy meals before sleep. I know you're not supposed to do that, but I cannot tell you how many times, a buddy will be here in Vegas giving a speech, or, a client will be, or something will happen, right? And we'd go out and just go have this fabulous meal. And yeah, we'd probably have a bourbon and a couple glasses of wine. And then as soon as I get home, I'm so tired, and go and conk out. And so what the body is doing is not resting. Your body is still working to digest all the food that you put down there. And therefore the quality of your sleep. And have you done that? You wake up the next morning after this big meal, and then you go right to sleep, and you look at your watch and go, gosh, why am I so tired? I had 7 hours of sleep. Why am I so tired? And that's the reason, because your body was working to digest the food, not to do the work that it needs to do while you are at sleep. Here's another one that she really pushed me on, and I'm doing it, right? I mean, if I want you guys to listen to some of the things I talk about business, she's a nutrition expert, so I better listen to what she said. Okay, so have quiet time before bedtime. Avoid bright artificial light, which includes your computer or your television. I know. Tam and I'd get in bed, we'd turn the television on, and that's where you catch up on an episode or two of something that you've missed during the week. But the bright light, whether it's real or artificial, signals to our brain it's time to be awake. So I should have brought him in here. I didn't. I forgot. I have these weird, funky glasses. They're clip-ons, right? And they cut out the bright light. So I put them on an hour before I go to bed so that even if we have the television on, my brain isn't picking up the signals about the bright light. And it looks so weird. I mean, it really does. I mean, you talk about a romance killer, put those babies on right before you go to bed. However, it has certainly improved my sleep. I got it. And I don't know if it's just, maybe it's placebo, but I've noticed that not having bright light, because I'll tell you the other thing I do is I take my iPad to bed and I've got the Kindle app on my iPad and I'll read. And it's a great time for reading and catching up. And one of the things I've really stopped doing as well is doing email right before I go to bed, because you read something in an email and it triggers it and you keep going over it. But try to have that quiet time before bedtime and avoiding even the bright light. Here's one more thing. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. There you go. That happens as we get older as guys, doesn't it, Charles? Yep. A nap was what yeah, exactly. Sometimes napping is all that we do. Bonnie, I do the same thing. I listen to a group called Liquid Mind, and I have it on a playlist, and the playlist loops. And, now with COVID, things have changed, but you make such a great point, because the other thing that I really learned to do was I put that playlist, of course, on my iPhone. And when I was traveling in a hotel room, I would put that playlist on. And so even though the bed was different and things were different, just hearing that same meditation music all night, for some reason, it triggered something. And all of a sudden, I've been able to sleep better in hotel rooms because of exactly what you're saying here. It's finding a way to do that. So here's the other one. Get a device to track your sleep. Maybe it's a Fitbit. Apple, I know, is changing some things about the Apple Watch. That's going to be on the new operating system that's coming out. So if you have an Apple Watch, even the current Apple Watches will be updated. And supposedly it's going to go into a sleep mode so that it will track your sleep, but it won't totally drain your battery. Because, if you're like my Apple, if your watch is like mine, by the time I go to bed, it's got 5% charge on it. So I've got to put it on the charger. And they're doing some things there. And it's going to be interesting to see how it works. The thing I did, that's what this ring is. It's called an Oura, O-U-R-A ring. And it gives you a very detailed analysis of your sleep. So, if you see it or not, but see that I had a 91 score last night on sleep. It tells you what your recommended bedtime is. And so it tracks your sleep. The other thing it does is it tracks your resting heart rate, which is really interesting as well, because the deeper your sleep, obviously, the more your heart slows down, everything slows down. And it's really, really fascinating, the things that it gives you. And the other thing it'll give you as well is, how much of the REM, the rapid eye movement sleep, that really deep sleep that we all need, how much of that do you get? And that's been the other thing that's really fascinating with the tracking, is that I'm not getting, there were nights and it was the nights where I ate something or I was doing email or whatever, and I might have gone to sleep, but my heart rate was still up and my body temperature was still up and that. So it's really, really fascinating to watch. Here's what I've realized is Wellrested. I used to even say this in my speeches. I used to say on my tombstone, when I die, on my tombstone, I don't want it to say he was well rested, right? Because I wanted to grab life and use it all up and all of those things that we typically say. And part of what I've learned here over the last 2.5 months is that well rested now means more motivated and successful. I've mentioned it before. I'll say it again. One of the great nights of my life was the chance to have dinner with Dr. Wayne Oates, who coined the term workaholic. And one of his observations was the reason he coined the term was that people get addicted to working just like they might get addicted to a drug. But the corollary to that was people that are workaholics weren't necessarily more productive. Matter of fact, he said in the vast majority of cases, they weren't more productive. They were just addicted to the activity, not to generating results. And I think that happens here. Sometimes we think, boy, I'm going to put in the hours. I'm going to get, and maybe those hours aren't as productive as what they should be. So as we're here on the weekend, and as you have a day, tomorrow, as we always said, Sunday's the day of rest, so to speak, but a lot of us don't get much rest on the weekends because we're working so hard to catch up for what we left behind during the week. Maybe it's a time for us to take a look at our sleep habits. Maybe it's a time to look at how we could be better at doing that, because well rested will help us be more successful, and certainly more successful will help us become more distinctive. Don't forget the free resources on Distinction Nation. That's changes happening there this next week as well. So if you ever want to download our 14-day free audio course on how to create personal distinction, you need to do it by Friday, because there's a lot of changes coming on Friday. So I hope to see you downloading that if you haven't already. And by the way, it's still absolutely free to sign up. Just sign up for free at Distinction Nation. There are other resources here like ebooks and everything else to help you create distinction. It's all there for you, absolutely free. Hey, tomorrow we'll be back at the same time with a shortened version of Daily Distinction. Also, don't forget, please set a reminder tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. It's the Ken and Glenn Show with a guy named Scott. Glenn is going to be checking in from a movie set somewhere, what I understand is what Ken told me. So it's going to be a fun night. So see you tomorrow for Daily Distinction. See you tomorrow night for the Ken and Glenn Show with a guy named Scott. And thank you for watching. If you haven't signed up for Ultimate Business Summit, please go do it right away. If you haven't signed up for Distinction Nation, do it right away. And if you do anything in terms of communicating via this, I don't mean live stream, because Ken's course on that is just the absolute best, Ken Walls. But if you do sales, if you do meetings, if you speak at meetings, all that, come join me there on post-pandemic events. All right, everybody, look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you at the same time tomorrow. Thank you, and get a good night's sleep.